What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. So today we are here with another tier list video, of course. Started December. This is the final one of 2020. Can you believe it, guys? Already, man. We're already at the end of the year. Man, this year's gone so freaking fast. But anyways, as I said, you know, this is the final tier list of the year. I cannot wait until we get to 2021 to see what kind of characters they're going to be releasing then. So this tier list right now, as you guys are seeing it, is the exact same list that I had at the end of last month. So we're going to be making any necessary changes that we need to, as well as applying some of the characters that we haven't added to the tier list yet. These three characters down the bottom, which are going to be Sugo Fest exclusive Smoker, Sugar, and the Super Evolution of version 2 Rayleigh. So this is the exact same listing that we have right now. Obviously, massive shout out to OPTC-tierlist.com. The link to this website will be down below in the video description, so you can go ahead over to the website and create any tier lists of your own and share them with the community. But of course, this is all of my personal opinions. Of course, you need to take that into consideration when watching this video. So my personal tier lists have a couple of different criteria as to how I rank certain characters, and those criteria include the power of the character, the speed of which the character is clearing content, the reliability of the unit, their clear rate as the captain, so you know, are they actually able to clear content, and then also their usability and versatility, which goes into how often are they used for teams, are they really good for a lot of content, and even if they're not even boosted on teams, are they good characters to put in your team to help you clear content. Obviously that's going to help out that character for being a high tier character, which there are plenty of characters that, you know, you'd probably use on teams even if they're not boosted, just because they are that good. And obviously not every character on this list is going to be, you know, ranked accordingly to how you personally perceive the character, and I personally do rank a character's captain effect a little bit higher priority over their special ability. So if a character has like a god tier special but their captain ability is absolute trash, then don't expect them to be top tier, but there may be some exceptions. We'll see how we go. First thing I want to do is just go through all of the tiers and talk about each individual character and whether they should be moving or not. So the bottom tier is this law. I guess let's have a look at this bottom tier and see if there's any other characters that I could potentially bump up into this like tier 5 spot here. Like none of these characters are really jumping out at me right now. You could potentially put Legend Jack here. I wouldn't argue with that. Legend Jack, I do use him quite often. A couple of these characters have really good support effects, like this Monkey D. Luffy right here has a pretty good support effect to enable you to get more matching slots. Same with this V1 Shanks. Kuzan has actually seen a lot of play since the release of Smoker and Sugar, because of course he's a quick unit and he actually has a really nice special that can benefit both Sugar and also benefit Smoker. Both of them are very, very nice. So Kuzan, I guess you could technically put in tier 5 just for now, but I feel like it's not really a good idea to do that. But he is a good unit overall. Cody Jones, you could put him in tier 5. He does have his limit break expansion, I guess. So I guess if you do count the limit break expansion with his buffed captain effect, you could probably put him in tier 5. I probably wouldn't argue with that. You got this Law who has a very powerful support. He has a very powerful support. You've got a good support. You're good in Pirate Rumble. Of course, this is not a Pirate Rumble tier list. We've got Buggy as well. I mean, you could make an argument for Buggy for certain cases, but this is only based on actually clearing content, not as in how good the character is in providing buffs to your account, which, you know, Buggy provides some really nice stuff, but he's not going to be your go-to captain for clearing content, of course. You got Neko, who's got a powerful support as well. Frankie got his support recently. This Sanji's got a good support. Shirahoshi, I guess you could put in tier 5 because she is somewhat usable in a lot of different teams, even when she's not boosted, just to give you rainbow orbs just straight off the cuff. It's pretty useful to have. But I guess aside from that, no, there's nothing really here that jumps out at me saying like, yeah, I should put this character in a higher tier. I don't think I'll do that. But then moving on to tier 4, we've got OG Lucy, and then we've got both versions of Judge. This Judge is definitely more used as a sub with his really powerful special. When this guy gets his expansion, his captain effect is actually insane. V2 Dofi unfortunately doesn't really like to move too much, but he like his special is so good that you basically have to have him on the tier list somewhere. But he's not going to be a high tier character unless if there's some sort of character that he can utilize that removes normal attacks only or enables his specials to go through barriers, which you can partner this guy with this Law to enable you to do that. But unfortunately, Driven aren't the best, and normal attacks only is quite a common debuff, so it doesn't make the character that powerful anymore. I hope Luffy Ness gets a Super Evolution sometime soon, dude, because he's not great at the moment. But of course, there are a lot of really good Free Spirit characters. The V3 Law, Sabo Koala. There's a lot of good units you can partner up with this guy. This guy's amazing. This is the pre-evolved Snake Man, so quick gear for Luffy. You could probably put him in tier 3. I wouldn't argue with that. He's got a really good captain effect. His special ability is pretty solid too. There's not really too much that's bad about that unit. Capone, man, again, shooters, I mean, with this guy as well, these two characters together, unfortunately, shooters, they probably won't ever be a top tier class ever at this point. The V2 slashers, they're pretty bad. Both of them would benefit a lot from a Super Evolution, honestly speaking. This guy's really good with Snake Man, of course. You've got Nami, who has a lot of different things about her that don't make her as powerful as what she should be. With a Super Evolution, Nami could definitely be one of the better subs in the game for sure. Robin's still relatively solid. Fuji's okay. Kung Fu Luffy, you know, he still clears content. He still gets through it. Shout out to Godot, because I know he goes through with Kung Fu Luffy. Tezora, honestly speaking, I think I'm going to put Tezora up. I've used him so much over the past couple of weeks, whether it be as a sub or as a support. I do think Tezora is severely underrated. And look, if you do decide to use him as a captain, yeah, his captain ability isn't great. If you do expand it, yeah, it's actually a really good captain effect, but you can't really run double Tezora unless if you have another friend that is going to expand their Tezora, which is not going to be an easy thing to find, that's for sure. But I do think Tezora should be bumped up. I totally agree with that. He's so freaking good. And then you got V3 Rayleigh, sorry, who is just... Honestly, he is the most disappointing Sugo Fest exclusive of the past, like, 24 months, I would say. The past 2 years, he's definitely been the most disappointing, unfortunately. But let's move on to Tier 3. So we've obviously got Tezora. We've got the Corazon and Rayleigh, and they're mainly there because they've got really good specials that see a lot of play still, and the best support effects in the game. Arguably the best support effects in the game. V2 Shanks and then the two V2 Admirals, still relatively good subs. V2 Akainu with his expansion's got a great captain. Carrot still sees heaps of play, and of course with the quick super types releasing, Carrot has been seeing a lot more play because there's been lots of strength content. So during this period, yeah, Carrot's going to be a really good unit to run, but she's not going to be your go-to all the time. Sometimes content is just a little too difficult for her to clear, or it's not as efficient with Carrot, depending on the content. Cat Dog, Nami with her 6+ is still good. I used her a couple times this month. She's been really good. Shiroshi Manchir is still okay. V1 Katakuri, you could probably make the argument that he could go to tier 4, but in my opinion, I would rather use V1 Katakuri 6+ compared to nearly every single other character here as a captain. Yeah, I would say I would rather use V1 Katakuri as a captain rather than every single other character in this position. So I think tier 3 is still good for him. Komarasaki, who I think is one of the most underrated Sugo Fest exclusives in the game. I'm going to continue to say this because she is so good. And of course, again, relating to the quick super types that have been releasing, she can utilize both of those characters very well, actually. So Komarasaki is going to be seeing a lot of play throughout this month of release. Then we've got Chopper, who, of course, is going to be your go-to candy farmer, and he's got a great special, good utility and stuff like that. Nothing really bad about the unit. I mean, you could probably make the argument that he's in tier 2. Would I put him in tier 2? I think I might. I'm going to put him into tier 2. I think I'm going to put Chopper... I can't believe I'm saying this, man. I can't believe I'm putting Chopper into tier 2. Could not be me. But yes, I do think he's probably in tier 2. I personally have been using him a lot. Like, a lot. So, I guess because of that, I want to put him in tier 2 just because of his usage for cotton candy, which I know... like, cotton candy's not an essential thing in the game, right? Like, it's not essential to farm, you know, maxing everyone's cotton candy, but... It's nice to have for sure, and like even if you're not using him to farm cotton candy, as I said, his special is still great. It's got healing mechanics and some of the best utility removal in the game. So like, yeah, Chopper's a good unit. Then after that, we've got, you know, this Lucy's still pretty solid. Again, he's a quick unit, can utilize both of the super types, which is great. And then we've got Arlong. Not a big fan of Arlong personally. I do use him sometimes if I want to speed clear content. I don't really use him too much as a captain. He's actually really good as a sub, really good AoE damage. His switch effect's okay, but nothing to write home about. So I think tier 3 is a pretty fair position for him. Marco is actually a really solid captain. Once again, being quick, can use the brand new super types. Same with Kuzan. Kuzan plus Sugar, man. Ooh, it's juicy. Kuzan plus Sugar is juicy. I might try and make another video, or make it like a video of some kind over the coming like weeks or days. is trying to, you know, build really high chain multiplier teams with Sugar. I think that'd be really interesting, and especially with Kuzan, some of the stuff you can get up to is kind of crazy. Then you've got Garb 6+, who is really solid, one of the best supports in the game as well, who can attach to Kuzan, actually. He attaches to Kuzan and Kobe characters. Then you got Hawkins, which I think it's fair to leave him into tier 3. Tier 2, we got Chopper, of course. Whitebeard Marco. Now, look, I have not used Whitebeard Marco in a very long time, but his switch effect is still so good, enabling you to remove paralysis and special bind, and guaranteed generation of recovery slots is kind of broken still. The special ability is quite nice, give you healing, health cut, and then the orb shuffle. I think I'm still going to leave them in tier 2, but I could see why people would argue to maybe move him down, but still, some of the things that he's able to do is so nice for a lot of different teams. V2 Katakuri is still kind of broken. As long as, you know, the content doesn't have normal attacks only, it's not really going to be that bad. Plus, there's lots of good characters that can attach to Katakuri with, in terms of support effects, such as like support rare recruit Brule, Flampe, Legend Cracker. Like, there's so many good supports that Katakuri has these days, so all of those things in tandem make this character still really good. Speaking of Legend Cracker, yeah, I think he's amazing. I've used him a lot over the past couple of weeks as well, just so good. V2 Big Mom, such a phenomenal unit for the Kizuna Clashes. Nami, Robin, and Pudding, both these characters are great. I have come around to liking Pudding a lot more than her initial release. On her initial release, she was just, I wouldn't say she's unusable, but she wasn't needed for content. But over the past, you know, few weeks and the last couple of months, we have seen definitely more content that is centered around allowing you to use Pudding in more beneficial situations compared to when she first came out. So I really do like that. There's been a lot of content that has come out recently where Pudding is actually, I wouldn't say she's like optimal, but she's really good for that content, which is nice, right? So I do think that Pudding is definitely, you know, one of the better Sugo Fest exclusives in the game, because there's no other character that can do what she does. But just when she first released, she was not needed for anything. But now it's nice to see that she has some content to be used against. And then Nami Robin, still one of the better specials in the game. Just 2.5 orb boost to 2 colors, removes paralysis by 10 turns. They got a good captain effect as well. I'm not a big fan of their captain effect, but they're still really good as a captain. Quickbeard, Striker and Powerhouse captain. Striker and Powerhouse are 2 of the best classes in the game, so no doubt that that's very, very good. Plus, he has a really good support effect, and he has a great special too, so that's awesome. And then you got Super Type Sabo, who is one of the worst super types in the game, unfortunately. I mean, the only real way that I would ever be using Sabo myself is if I'm using Douglas Bullet as well. That's the only situation where I could see myself ever using this character as a captain, but I mean, as a sub, again, depending on the content I'm going up against, it would be nice to have for sure. And then moving on to tier 1, we've got Bato Cavendish. Now, Bato Cavendish, this is also another character that I really haven't used too much recently, but you could definitely make the argument for moving him down to like tier 2 or maybe even tier 3. But I just love his switch effect. His switch effect, even on teams where he is not boosted on that team fully, he's still amazing to have. Plus, you can use him on the defensive side of things, where you can use his special to allow you to tank damage. It's just so valuable to have, and as I said, still one of the best switches in the game. Sanji Judge, not really much else to say about him. He's just a freaking god tier unit. Viva Rebecca, if it wasn't for their really terrible captain effect, that'd be tier 0. If we're just talking subs alone, if you're not even talking about any captain effects in the game, I would say Viva Rebecca like top 3. They are so powerful, amazing switch effect as well, healing, chain lock, and then the capabilities of removing Rainbow and Blue Shield completely on the enemy is insane. And then color affinity for 2 turns for Striker and Cerebral. Like, there's so many good things going for this character, man. I don't think they'll ever be bad. They are just so good. This character is amazing with his captain effect to give you inbuilt utility. Not really much else to say about that. You know, his special's okay, but I mean, Blackbeard just does it better. It's just his captain effect is just kind of nice. Then you got Kaido. Everyone knows why Kaido's good. Halloween Ace. Again, utility captain, plus a really god tier special. God tier support as well, one of the best supports in the game. Luffy Zoro, Wano slots are just broken, and that's pretty much it. Plus, we now have the kid ship in the game because of the Training Forest magnetic ship, whatever it is. That ship is it actually is the best ship to run with Luffy and Zoro now, just allowing you to get the higher attack boost, plus it's got a really good special on that ship too. Mihawk Perona, self-proc and conditional, freaking god tier dude. Amazing switch effect as well. The negative mechanic is insane. Not really much else to say about that. I don't really use them that much as a captain, but as a sub, yes sir, they are amazing. Sober Mask in the same vein as Mihawk Perona. I don't use Sober Mask that much as a captain, but as a sub, just phenomenal. My man, Mr. Slam Jam is tier 1. I think a lot of people would argue that he is not a tier 1 character. I still think Katakuri is tier 1. Look, he's a 5 times captain below 50%, self-procking conditional boost and attack booster. He's a Katakuri character, and we've already talked about the really good supports that Katakuri can have on him. He's boosting Int. Int is like the best color in the game. There's lots of things going for this character, and why I still believe that he deserves to be in tier 1. Blackbeard, I mean, do I need to say more? Do I need to say more? Blackbeard, I mean, look, some people might argue that he should be in tier 0. I wouldn't put it past a lot of people to put him in tier 0. He's very close to tier 0. There are still a couple of issues with him. No recovery is a little bit of a downside. You have to really utilize recovery specials in order for him to heal, as a captain, that is. As a sub, though, like, he still is probably one of the better subs in the game. Just allowing him to get a 4 times attack and orb boost is no joke. Health cuts, gives himself a matching orb, of course, and his captain effect, having so much health, of course, is nice, but, you know, health cuts are a thing. So in high difficulty content, as a captain, yeah, not so much, but as a sub on teams where, you know, not even on teams where, like, you know, you're not even running int characters, you're not running driven characters, as long as he is, like, boosted by the captains, right? Even though he doesn't provide much to your team, a lot of the times you can just fill your team out with a bunch of support characters and a bunch of utility-based units, and if you got Blackbeard on your team as well as a sub, you can allow Blackbeard to be your heavy hitter, and that can allow you to just clear content, and then filling your team out with a bunch of utilities. That's a really good way to go through content too. So Blackbeard, I don't think he's tier 0 because there are still a couple of problems with him, but overall, I do like this character a lot. And then you got Eustace Kid. The main drawback of him is he has no damage reduction, no recovery mechanics with his captain effect, and he boosts Dex, which is one of the worst colors in the game, if not the worst color in the game. And then my top tier personally, I have Snake Man. I still think he's top tier, no doubt. Luffy, Law, they're not used as much, but as a sub, they're still really powerful. Plus, support Sengoku is really good. They are Luffy and Law. They can attach some of the best supports in the game to them, so lots of beneficial things going there. Sabo, Koala, pretty self-explanatory. Bullet is the best captain through normal attacks only. You know, any of those units that get nerfed significantly from normal attacks only, Bullet is the best of those units, because even normal attacks only, even if that happens, his captain effect is still godly. He has, if we're, again, you know how with Vivi Rebecca we talked about, if you just disregard all captain effects, they're probably one of the best units in the game, like top 3. If we're just talking about, like, just disregard everything and you just look on paper of the captain effect of the unit, Douglas Bullet has one of the best captain effects in the game, bar none. Shanks Crew, also in that same vein of having, you know, one of the best captain effects in the game. He's a dual unit though, so you only get that captain effect a little bit of the time, but still being to be able to passively resist 10 turns of special bind is insane. V3 Law, my favorite Sugo Fest exclusive in the game. I think he is top 5. He is amazing. Boosting free spirit fighters and strikers, great damage reduction and healing mechanics, so he's good on high difficulty content, and he's a Psy unit, so he has no type disadvantage. He's got orb manipulation, he's got orb boost, base, chain lock, he's a Law character, so you can attach good supports to him. So many good things for Law. Snake Man, again, pretty self-explanatory, one of the best characters in the game. And then V3 Akainu, which honestly I'm going to move down to tier 1. I personally have used him a little bit throughout this month, and every time I used him, I felt a little bit disappointed. I feel like he should be a little bit better than what he currently is. It's just the fact that his special ability doesn't really provide that much, considering how common defense down immunity is now, because it used to be the other way around. Usually, like, delay immunity would be the one that always comes up, but defense down immunity and full immunity are still relatively common. So that's kind of the downside there. The fact that his self-proccing conditional boost, you're not always going to get that, but in the turns where you activate a special and you get the conditional and you get the attack boost, it's a wrap. Like, you just get so much damage output from one special activation, but during those turns where you don't have the conditional, you really do miss it, and you do have to rely on other characters to give you those boosts. Another thing as well is that he is an Akainu unit, and there aren't that many powerful supports that can attach to Akainu compared to some of the other characters on this list. So those are kind of the downsides there. But I guess we've gone through all of the old tier list and kind of made any necessary changes that we need to. I'm really happy with this list, honestly. So now let's go with the new characters. So we've got Sugo Fest exclusive Smoker, Sugar, and the super evolved Rayleigh. Let's start with Rayleigh. Now, Rayleigh, he is a much better unit. Now remember, this is not including Pirate Rumble. This is just including their support effect, their special, and their captain effect. So I think, personally speaking, I'm going to put Rayleigh into tier 3. I think Rayleigh is a pretty solid unit, but nothing really jumps out at me saying, you know, this unit is a god tier unit that needs to be used on every single team. You gotta look at things, right? His special ability, it does provide good boosts. It provides a 2x orb boost, a 3x chain lock. That's the bare minimum that you're getting. And if you're below 50%, you get good orb manipulation and damage reduction, all of which are amazing to have on a unit. But it's not a character that you're going to inject into every single team because he's such a god tier unit. Unfortunately, that is not the case. But on paper, he is still a good unit to run on a lot of teams. Remember, he is free spirit and a cerebral unit, so lots of good combinations with that. But just overall, he's not going to be that GOAT unit that you run on every team. He's not your go-to. But remember, this is not Pirate Rumble. He is still a very, very good unit in Pirate Rumble. No one's taking that away from him. I just think that he's not, he's just not a god tier unit compared to some of the other characters in the game. Now we've got the other Sugo Fest exclusives that we have. So, Smoker. I'm going to talk about Smoker first. Now, I did actually pull Sugar, but this is coming from me that doesn't own Smoker. I've never used him in any content yet. Just looking on paper and comparing him to some of the other characters that we have on this list here. The way that I see Smoker is I'm going to put him into tier 2. Now, some people may disagree with that, and that's completely fine. Remember, this is my personal listing of characters. I just feel like a lot of the things that are built with Smoker, that enemies can counter them very easily. Because if there's any content that removes your beneficial effects, it really hinders the way that Smoker tries to clear content. The way that they built Smoker is like, you run 2 Smoker characters, one is a captain, one is a friend captain, use both of their specials, both of their super types, you get a 2.5 attack and orb boost for 3 turns, you get the immunity buff against burn and attack down, which is all good. That's really cool. But then when you carry it into the next room, if the enemy removes your beneficial effects, say goodbye to your 2.5 attack boost, goodbye to your 2.5 orb boost, goodbye to your immunity buffs, and then you just lose everything. So that is what I don't like about the character. Saying that though, this character still has a lot of good things going for him. The fact is that he's a Smoker character, so you can attach like Limited Roku Toshigi if you want to do that, because Limited Roku Toshigi's got a really, really good support effect. He has a health boost, which is nice. He also is just a quick super type, right? So you can run a lot of different characters with him. A lot of the good quick characters on this team, like you can run this guy if you want, and if you run him and you can use his special, so you get the you get the attack boost from him, you get the orb boost from him, and then you've got a full border matching orbs because of his special. Like there's lots of really good combinations you can run with the quick super type. It's a fact that even with his captain effect though, you have to hit perfects in order to get your high multiplier, which isn't always what you want to do. Sometimes you want to hit it good, sometimes you want to hit it great, depending on the barrier, depending on if there's a recovery orb and you want to heal, right? There's lots of finicky things going on here with Smoker, and because of that, I'm going to put him into tier 2, whereas some of the other characters in a little bit of a higher tier don't have as many finicky things going on with the character. They can just get their boost relatively easily compared to Smoker. But look, this is coming from someone that doesn't have Smoker, so I can't give you a full rundown of how I like the unit because I've never used him before. Just on paper, these are the things that I've identified that I don't like about the character, but comparing him to some of the other characters in this list, he does have definitely a better captain effect than a lot of other characters in this list here. So I'm going to leave him in tier 2 for now. As time goes on, I may buff him, I may put him even lower. We'll see how things go. And now we have one more character, which is Sugo Fest exclusive Sugar. I think this character, currently on Global, is a tier 0 unit. I don't want to put her all the way, I want to put her all the way at the end. But anyways, Sugar is... I don't know whose idea Sugar was. Sugar is just... Dude, I can't even comprehend how stupid this character is. I uploaded a clip to my Twitter a couple of days ago, and the fact is this character just you can literally just tap once on Sugar and allow all your other characters to do auto attacks, even if your characters are binded, paralyzed, no matter what. You're getting your attacks in, and those attacks bypass enemy defensive effects. Like, it's just this character just does way too much. Okay, I'm just recording this just to show how stupid this is. Whose idea was this character? Literally not even tapping. Not even have to tap. Like, this is the most broken thing in the game. The fact is as well is that when the characters when Sugar turns characters into toys, they become 40 cost characters. They get 2,500 attack, which is a lot more than what characters can achieve these days. And then with her super type, you get an orb boost as well. And she's a rainbow captain. You don't have to run a certain color. She is boost everyone's attack by 3 times, but then if they're below 40 cost, it's 4.5, and she herself is a 40 cost unit. So that's 4.5 for her. You can run limited rare recruits, you can run Colosseums. There's so many good units you can run that just get a 4.5 flat boost, and then when they become toys, even if it's like a treasure map unit, a raid boss, a legend, they become a toy, and then they get all the 4.5 boost from that, the orb boost from Sugar. Like, Sugar is just insane. I do personally believe that Sugar is a tier 0 character currently on Global, and it's likely going to stay that way for a little while. But anyways, that's my opinions of my old tier list and making any necessary changes, as well as applying some of the new characters that you guys would have seen that have released throughout this month. So there we go. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video of breaking down my tier list, and if you guys agree, that's awesome. If you guys don't, then let me know down below in the comment section. What are your guys' tier 0 looking like at the moment on One Piece Treasure Cruise Global? Let me know down below in the comment section. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video today, and if you guys did enjoy it, make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, and if you want to stay up to date with all the content that I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But other than that, guys, I will see you guys within the next video.